You're a woman and you've hit that age, maybe around 40, and you thought, you know what? I have done all the things I've ever done because I was supposed to. I opened a business, I took a corporate path, successful, I've achieved all the things. And somehow along the way, I realized I was doing what I had to do versus what really resonated in my heart. And you're ready to make this huge transformation and step into a different lane to feel more in alignment with where you want to take all of that success and reconnect it with something that feels deeply personal and all about you, right? Some of the women that I work with kind of have this niggling experience that there's something that's amiss, but they're not necessarily in a place where it's full on awareness that it's like, God, something's really kind of hanging out here that's like not right for me, right? And so I really love sort of opening that idea of really stepping into a space of awareness about how are you showing up to life these days? How is that career or that business feeling for you? Is it feeling in alignment? Or is it that dread in the pit of the stomach? Do you hate going in every day? Have you lost the passion and motivation to do it? Right. So, if that's you, then hi, my name is Jen, the founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness and a transformational purpose coach and expert. And what I do is work with women in midlife who are so high achieving and successful, but they've kind of gotten to this place where they've realized that they're not really feeling it anymore. And they've done maybe the raising of the kids or laying a foundation for their business journey, but they're not feeling connected to it, right? So we help them working together to get clarity about what they really are called to do and how they're going to do that. So we talk a lot about lane change, which just means making a shift in your career in some capacity, sometimes right where you are, sometimes elsewhere, right? We figure that out together. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be talking about abundance, reaching for abundance. This month we've been talking about reach, right? And it means lots of things, but today we're going to be talking about abundance. And I'm actually going to tell a story first. So, story time first. So, I'm actually going to be doing something really unusual in my business. And I thought I would talk about that to start out the gate, right? So, in my career as a clinical social worker, I worked in a private practice for years and years and years, practicing for over 20 years. Trying to get my iPad up here because I took some notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I've never really taken big breaks in my life ever. I'm a hustler, and have been a firm believer of like, the work gets the things done. If you feel me, give me a shout out. So, right. So hustle, 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 do, do, do. And I think that's interesting because obviously one of the things I'm most connected to in this life as a healing practice is meditation. And so, what I've really been finding in my life right now as a woman in middle age is, for those of you that don't know, I have a daughter who just graduated from high school. She's going to be going to the University of Minnesota. Our summer is full of graduations and celebration and orientation. That's a lot of cheers, isn't it? So, we have a lot of celebration, orientation, all these things going on, which is all super glorious. And what I found was I was going to set up a webinar like I normally would. And I was like, not feeling it. So I went to one of my coaches and I'm like, look, here's the deal. When I think about hosting a webinar right now, it makes me want to die. And she like laughed, she was like, okay, then let's not do one right now. Where you at? So I talked about all these things, right? One of the things I think we struggle with, and I talked about this a little bit before early in the month, was sometimes we struggle to give ourselves permission. Okay. I know I've done that to myself as an entrepreneur. I've owned 3 businesses. It's really hard to imagine that stepping back is actually the right decision for your business. And if you have ever been in this mode, then please also give me a shout out in the comments. It's very hard to say I'm going to slow down because I think what our mindset tells us and what our culture tells us is we must be in the hamster wheel of the doing. Okay. And so what I've decided for the summer is I'm going to hang back a little. I'll be here. I'm working. I'm doing coaching. I'm doing the business. I'm doing all the things. I'll be here live. But I'm going to take a little bit of a step back so that I can really show up to this season of my daughter. I only have a couple months left. It's time she is a ticking and already like pedal to metal. I'm seeing summer whoosh by. I'm sure that all of us relate to that. And I really want to spend time with her. I really want to be around, able to go do things, really absorb what's happening around us rather than being so busy. It's sort of like I blinked and I missed it. And so I had a minute. I was like, really, like, can I do this and still maintain the business? And so here's what I'm going to do. The month of July is going to be about transformation. The month of August is going to be about abundance. So my posts will be when they're when they feel motivated, when they feel inspired. I will be in, like I said, I'm not going to go anywhere, but I really want to just hone in on the work that I love the most. So I have some things I'm working on creating, and I've got some events coming up. I'm going to share that in a minute. But I also really wanted to just invest this time in my daughter. My daughter is in a grand state of transformation, right? And I think the summer months are a beautiful time of high energy to do those kinds of things, to make big transformation. So one of my big transformations, and say if this is something that like you can understand, is going to be slowing down a little bit. Hi, Deb. It's actually not going to be forging ahead pedal to the metal. Now, and that feels opposite, right? Again, that feels opposite. But here's what I want to speak to for a minute about meditation, and we're going to move on. What makes meditation powerful is sitting in the stillness. It's one of the greatest things that actually transformed my life was doing meditation as regular practice. It's about the stillness. It's about the quiet sweetness of the space where we're actually slowing things way down. We're showing up for ourselves. And that's really what I'm doing in my business. That my business needs to be a reflection of all of that kind of insight about what meditation, what it means to kind of slow things down, be present. And I really want to do that both in my business to be really authentically here, right? As it suits, and also in my personal life. So there needs to be better balance. And so I'm hoping someone's listening to me that maybe needs permission to do these kinds of choices, right? Is to step back and step out a little bit and reconfigure. I'm not doing my work. I'll be coaching, I'll be hosting things you're going to hear in a second. I've got a lot of things going on, but they all felt really aligned for me when it finally all kind of clicked in probably the last day or so. I was kind of like gnawing on different ideas, talking with my coaches, talking with some of my business friends, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? And I finally landed on it. And so I'm so excited to be bringing you guys some of the things that are going to be going on this summer, but just kind of want to be really honest about that. I needed some time to kind of just be really present as it suited versus that hamster wheel creating things. Here's the truth. The truth is, for all of us, if we get in our businesses and we're cranking it out, and all of us have been there. I mean, I feel like all of us have been there. What can happen is we're creating for the sake of creating, and it's not necessarily that's landing. And I think for me, that's sometimes where I got like the idea of making a bunch of videos again for July and August. I do big video days. You all don't see them. You just see them come out on Tuesdays as my vlogs. That's an hours long journey. I shoot in one day to get them all done. I stack them up, knock it off, dude. Sorry, my dogs have an attitude. And so I do them for like hours. Okay. It's a whole production thing. And mostly I really enjoy that. This summer, zero desire. Zero desire. I got things to say. I'm going to say them. I'm just not going to do it in that traditional method of making a whole batch of videos and you're going to see them in my blogs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up some of my older content, pull it forward that I actually think is really like prudent to what we're going to be talking about in terms of transformation and abundance. Okay. So that's the kind of information I'm going to be kind of like dripping back out to all of you. So just know if you see some of that old content, I'm going to be coming back with new. You probably haven't even seen the old content. So let's be real, right? I'm going to put that back out there, recirculate. Truly, they're the things that I believe in anyway. So they kind of stand. So I'm going to be putting that back out into the world again. And so we'll be live on Thursdays like we always are, unless I have something going on, which I will let you know. But I just wanted to talk about the story of giving permission of living from a state of abundance that I'm going to trust that even when I'm stepping back, like just for a time, right? Stepping out just a little, I'm not out of the business. I'm just not going to be like leaning in the same exact way, that actually stuff is better. That maybe it's actually more energetically magnetic, if you will, that I am saying, nope, I'm going to show up exactly as is, exactly in this moment for myself and my family, what is needed. Yesterday, I spent a bunch of time cooking really healthy meals, right? And so that wasn't working on my business. Now, am I thinking while I'm cooking? You bet. So what I'm finding is when I'm doing those things and taking more time, the creativity is so much greater. And so I'm really showing up with this kind of like revitalized energy. That's what I think can happen, right? Okay, so I told you I was going to give you 4 steps to abundance. So just roll with me for a minute. Okay. So what we're going to talk about are some steps you can take for reaching for abundance. Okay. And then I've got some events coming up. Do not miss this because I'm serious. What I'm going to circle back to in a minute is going to be really pivotal. I don't want you to miss anything I'm saying. There's a bunch of important stuff today. Okay, steps. 1, look for abundance. If your eyes are not looking for it, you don't have a vision for it, you're not going to see it. I know that sounds so oversimplified, but I'm telling you that having a lens for abundance helps you to see it and experience it differently. That's number 1. 2, be willing to receive it. If you are a terrible receiver, if you're like, oh, universe, God, source, creator, whatever you want to call it, right? How about abundance? And then you're like, I can't take it in. Okay. I've already talked about that this week. That was in my vlog. So if you missed the story, go back and listen to the great story. Be a good receiver. Okay. Look for it. Be a great receiver. This is a really huge struggle very often for women. Okay. So I need to check in. How good are you receiving? Be in the flow to keep it moving. So you have to kind of get in the habit of abundant thinking and reaching for abundance so that you end up in more of a flow around it, right? Abundance is an energy. I will be talking about that more later, not today. There's something coming up where I will explore more of that with you. But for today, I just want you to understand abundance is energy. So when we think about abundance, you might think about money. You might think about it is an energetic flow. Okay. So I'm going to talk about purpose and how this connects in 1 second. Develop a practice for this. That's number 4. Look for it, be willing to receive it, be in the flow to keep it going. You need momentum, and then develop a practice for this. So a practice just means the way that you sit down and spiritually work in abundance on a regular basis. It's a mindset. Okay. So it's a much more like mindset notion that I'm going to have to sit in this notion of abundance. I'm going to develop habits around living in abundance. And now I've got a practice, which is going to sustain that flow. How do those two things connect? Let's talk about abundance and purpose. Stop it. Sorry. My dog. Purpose and abundance. When I have abundance, I'm also living in my purpose. And I want you to think about if I have abundance in the form of, let's say, wealth, just as an example, because it's the most obvious for everybody. So just kind of roll with me for a minute. It's not even the way that I necessarily see it. But for the point of our conversation, I bring more wealth in, I donate more out. Do we understand that there is an energetic transaction, if you will, that happens when I live in a state of my purpose? And when I'm in purpose, I'm shining like the sun. I bring in more abundance. And what happens is I then recycle that abundance into the universe for the things that matter to me in the ways that I want to create impact. Maybe that's charitable donations. I talked to a woman this week, a network called Beautiful Woman Lynn, who is literally creating scholarship for college students. She's doing one of the things that's on my agenda. And so that's how she's using her abundance. She's not just living lavishly off the whatever, riding jets from one spot to the other, which I mean, power to you. She has dedicated her abundance, okay, and her purpose to creating more abundance for others. That cycle of service is something I so value about your purpose. And we need to be able to have that experience of that transaction, because truly we're best living when we're coming from a place of service. So anyone that I work with, I would not attract someone unless they wanted to create impact. That's number 1. I would not attract someone that didn't have a mindset of service. So the women that I work with already are like, that's where I want to go. I want to make a huge impact and influence in the world somewhere, whether it be with finance or authenticity or whatever it might be, right? They all have different notions about what that looks like. That is deeply connected to purpose, deeply. So much so that I'm actually have created a 40-day challenge for abundance. I'm super excited. So it's a 40-day journey. And we are going to be talking more as we get a little bit closer to, I'll get you some details, but it's going to be starting on Monday, August 9th. So right when I get back from my Mexico vacation, I'm going to be fired up and ready to show up for you all. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 40 days together, okay, where we are working on stepping fully into abundance. Each week has a theme, shocking, I know, where we'll be diving in a little bit deeper each Monday morning. I'll be hosting a meditation for you that you can watch the replay if you can't make it in person. We're going to start our morning with that on Monday. We'll get up a little bit earlier and we'll shake a tail feather and hang out together, have our coffee and meditation. And so I might throw some bonus, options and events in there as we go. But right now, just know it begins on Monday, August 9th. You have to be signed up. The other thing I'm going to tell you is you're going to need to be in my community in Facebook, which I'm creating through Laughing Lotus Wellness. So right now on my Facebook page, when you go to my business page, right, Laughing Lotus Wellness, I'm going to be creating an offshoot community. And I think I'm going to call it, oh, I had it down earlier. See, this is what happens when you have so many things going on in your brain. I think I'm going to call it something connected to Rise or Laughing Lotus Collective. I think it might be the Lotus Collective, something along that line. What it is, it's an offshoot of my business, but it's where I'm going to really house all the coaching stuff. So the business page will still be there, and that's fine, but it'll be like really basic events and stuff that'll get posted there. The community is where the meat is going to be. So what I wanted to do was really invite people who are really invested in working on themselves in purpose to come on over into that community. So if you want to stay in touch, you can stay on the business page. Great, namaste. If you really want to do some deeper work, you want to be in great community, we're going to put you over in that community in my Facebook page. So you'll see an invite if you're following along. If you haven't, come on over and follow me in Facebook so that I can include you in that when I open the doors to that community. You do need to be a part of the community on Facebook to join the 40-day abundance challenge. Okay. So that's going to be, and you have to sign up. So we're going to get you there in a second. But what I wanted to do for a minute was I wanted to talk about something. So why 40 days, right? So it takes 20 days to break a habit, 20 days to create another. That's one of the meanings of 40 days. Because people are like, why 40 days? I found this site, but I'm like, there's spirituality to it though. So I want to make sure that we're also addressing, right? Because that's how I come. Like I'm coming in with the psychology of it, but I'm also coming at the spirituality. This is what it said. Kundalini yoga is known as the yoga of awareness because it uses physical movement, breathing, and sound to directly affect one's consciousness, develop intuition, increase self-knowledge, and unleashes the unlimited creative potential that exists within every human being. I mean, that sounds right up my alley, right? And it's probably up yours. So there you go. In fact, it's with Kundalini yoga practice for 40 consecutive days to make or break habits. So they do this. Then it says 40 days has sacred relevance throughout religion. In Judaism, there's a mystical practice that says one who seeks an answer to their prayer should pray the same prayer request for 40 consecutive days. 40 days also has significance for Christians who fast for 40 days during Lent, right? And so, I mean, for 40 days, it's literally like you could go through and there's this really beautiful 40-day, right, like jam that we end up finding as you're doing some research. And I want to just kind of share that because I think it's so beautiful. And so what we want to know is it's really about the time it's going to take to experience transformation, right? That's what we just got at. This is transformational work we're doing. And so if July is transformation, we're setting the tone for this abundance challenge in August, where every Monday morning we're going to come together and we're going to share meditation, we're going to share community, and we're going to start building up this mindset. And this mindset is directly correlated to purpose. But I wanted to talk about that significance of 40 because I have heard it too. And actually, it's one of the things that I do if I'm going to do mantra or chanting, that they really say that at 40 days, it's sort of like you're really making a commitment to something, right? That's where they talked about doing the same prayer for 40 days. So when I do like my New Year's resolution, I will often repeat the same mantra every day for 40 days. And then the idea is that it's like you kind of like, it's all of a sudden like you're really super visible in the universe, right? It's like, oh, hey, I'm this committed that it's like they hear the prayer and you can imagine that your prayers are being answered. So I just think it's a really beautiful psychological and spiritual, like intertwining, if you will. Why 40 days? And so what it's going to look like, and trust me, you don't want to do this if you're not in a meditation. If you're listening to me right now and you're like, I'm not in a meditation, this is really going to be about repeating an intention every single day. We're going to be joining together every single Monday. For the length of that, it ends, I believe, on September 16th is the final day of the 40 days. It's going to be such a beautiful community connection. And I really wanted it to be the basis of how we join together in my community that's an offshoot in my Facebook page. That's really kind of what I want. And so we're probably gonna be doing some Zoom, we're gonna be doing some other stuff. That's how the Mondays will take place. You can show up. You don't have to say a word if you don't want. You can come in your jammies, camera off. You can just come and experience the meditations. I really want to invite you to get excited about changing your mindset in the month of August. And so that's kind of what I think I'm needing. And so I'm like repeating this because I've already done it once. I think it is such an incredible game changer for us that I was like, I'm going to do it. So that's coming, and you can check out and get signed up in my website. If you go to laughinglotuswellness.com/book. So that's what it is. It's just so that's going to take you to my book a class page, and you'll see the 40-day abundance. And I am going to require you, though, like I said, to be in my Facebook community. So that's going to be one of the things you have to make sure you're doing in order to be present, because I'll be dropping some things likely in Facebook community as well. So it's kind of a nice, well-rounded, if you will, way to kind of experience the challenge. Okay, so that's kind of coming up. So that's going to be, again, Monday, August 9th. We're going to be starting that. There's going to be a really pretty nominal fee for that, and have you buy a book for it and be ready. And then Monday, August 9th, we're going to start this and we're going to hit the ground running. Okay, so that's coming. I'm super excited about it. So I hope to see you there. Look for that invite to join the community. If that resonates for you, beautiful. If it doesn't, I'm not offended. I really want that community to be a place of engagement, of spiritual, psychological growth, personal development. I really want you to show up if you're kind of in that lens of like, I want to purposeful living. I want to create impact in the world. This is something that resonates for me. That's what this community is going to be about. So it's just another extension. Another fun event coming up too, I'm going to mention, and then I'm going to let you go, I swear. There was a lot going on this. You can tell when I'm on fire because it's like all of a sudden all the things come up here. So first of all, I'm super excited about announcing this. This is so of my soul and heart. I'm so excited. Okay. On Thursday, July 19th, and I'm not looking at a calendar. I believe that's a Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. I'm going to be teaching Yoga Nidra in person at Sun Acupuncture. One of the things I really decided for the summer was that I wanted to do some really in-person events as well, not just all virtual stuff. And I love virtual stuff. I love my virtual community. And there's something really powerful about being with each other. And after the pandemic, I think we need more and more and more connection, honestly. And so that was what really lit my soul on fire for the summer. I'm like, then that's what I'm doing. So on July 19th from 7 to 8:30, I will be at Sun Acupuncture in Minnetonka teaching meditation, Yoga Nidra meditation. It's going to be an 1.5 hour long class. I'll probably open with some stuff, throw some things in there before we ever do meditation, and let you have a really beautiful, extended, restorative meditation. So that is going to be Yoga Nidra for restoration. Again, Sun Acupuncture, if you look that up, that is Josh Iha's practice. He is the first person that ever did energy work for me. And so this feels so like a homecoming to me. He is so high integrity and so ethical and so loving. And I'm so excited he's opened this new office. And so I was like, just super stoked to be able to join forces with him and do a collaboration where I'm showing up and teaching meditation in his beautiful facility. There's a gorgeous space, wood floors, bring your own stuff. I think it's $30 to do that. You can head over to Sun Acupuncture and look that up. There'll be classes, and find me as a staff. And then if you click on the little description of the class right there, it'll take you through the steps to get signed up. And we only have so much space because that's how big the room is. So I'm super excited to actually be doing something local and teaching in person. And I just can't wait to get my hands on people and be in person. So that is the first event that's going to be coming up. I'm super stoked about. The second is this one. And this is a big one that I'm really feeling. On July 24th, I believe that's a Friday, I'm going to be hosting the Transformation Meditation and Ceremony. So this is going to be in my backyard. And so those of you that have followed along for long enough know that I have a studio back there. I've got a really beautiful fire space. It feels very retreat-esque, if that makes sense. And so we designed it that way intentionally. My husband was super supportive of me hosting things here. And it's just beautiful to be able to drag my items in and out of the house and do these events. So it's been a long time in the making. It's the stuff that I live for. So we're going to be doing a transformation, meditation, and ceremony. And so that'll be, I think I said, from 7:30 to 10. And so the first little bit, we'll just kind of hang out, maybe have some tea. We're going to just kind of visit, kind of set the tone. Then we'll do our practices, our ceremonies. Then we'll kind of come out of that and we'll process a little bit. And people can hang out, right? It's a Friday night. I intentionally did it so that you didn't feel like you had to rush home if you didn't want to. There's going to be a bonfire. I'm just going to be bringing all the things. So you know that when I show up, I'm going to be bringing things with my meditation journey, yogic journey, breath work, all that stuff. So depending on what I feel, and I'm not going to design it all right now with you online, but just know that those are the kinds of things. I love shamanistic ideas. I use some of that in some of the ceremony. So if you want to come join me, I just know that some of the people locally were like, can we do something that's in person? I get the request. I'm super comfortable in virtual land. I've been doing it for a long time, but I do also understand the drive to have that deeper connection with people. So this summer, that's how it's going to go down. I'm so super excited. So again, if you go to my website, laughinglotuswellness.com, you will see that there is a space for that book a class button. If you go in there, that's where stuff is available. It's up and live. Get your spots. They are limited. I only have so much space to really make it comfortable back there in that backyard space. So I want you to be able to grab a spot while they're available. So those are kind of the handful of things going on. I've got a huge abundance challenge coming in August. I've got the class I'm teaching Yoga Nidra in Minnetonka. And then I've got that meditation and ceremony coming in July. So I'm so super excited. And I hope that you are too, to have some of these more personalized and in-person events that I just think are really powerful as well. So I'm super, super excited. So we've got a handful of things going on. The Abundance Challenge will all be virtual because I'm going to be doing that with people from all over. And then those other couple things that I mentioned, that Yoga Nidra and then my ceremony and meditation, that's all in my backyard. Those are in-person events. I think I'm going to probably do one more in-person event in August, but I'm going to see what the timeline looks like. I don't want to commit to anything yet because my daughter's going to be moving to college. And staying with taking care of myself rather than overdoing because I get excited. I'm going to roll with these items. So for sure, we've got those 2 events in July. And then we've got August 9th, we are starting our 40-day abundance challenge. So I really invite you to get signed up and to come over and join me in that Facebook community that's going to be an offshoot of Laughing Lotus Wellness. If you're on here today, you're listening, then that's one of the avenues that you probably found me. Understand that started when I was doing fitness and wellness and I was all the things, right? And so now that I've really shifted into a place of really being intentional about the work that I do, coming from that place of purpose where I combine psychology, spirituality, energy work, and personal growth, that's really who I want to be calling in. And so I'm going to just make it an opportunity for those of you that are really interested in hearing and seeing the vlogs and the updates and the activities, the events and the coaching. That's what that group will really be about. So look for that to be coming in your inbox at some point. I'll be sending that out to you. And then look for that 40-day abundance challenge. If you want to join me, I'm so excited. We're going to spend 40 days working in this together as a group and community. So you're going to bring your great energy. I'm going to talk about how that all ties together. Like I said, each week has a theme. I've already decided all that. That's all ready to roll. So I just wanted to bring this forward to you because this is abundant living to me, is what I'm telling you today. When I slowed down, all of the drive and direction, motivation, inspiration for these events came directly forward. That's how I know it's feeling in alignment for me and how I'm in that state of flow that I talked to you about out of the 4 steps. And so for me, I'm really excited to be bringing this kind of energy for the summer, to intentionally slow down and share some of that time and space with all of you, because that's something that I love to do so much. And so I'm super, super excited to be bringing that to you all. So be watching. I'll be making some posts that have dates, events, things like that. I would say, if you see it, jump on it. I don't know how quickly they will go. I hope that they go. I hope that we get to spend this time together, right? But I just don't know how long it will be, that there'll be spots available. So Josh is advertising that class and I'm advertising that class and his practice. I'm assuming that's going to get filled. And so if you wanted to just come and just straight do Yoga Nidra practice with me for an evening, please come do that. If you're looking for something a little more spiritual, a little deeper, that ceremony and meditation evening at my house is going to be so fun. I'm so excited. I did it before. I've done a couple of them. I'm ready. I kind of am missing it. I can tell it's like the energy is flowing, that I'm going to need this. And so that's going to be a really powerful evening of transformational work. And so a lot of it will be releasing and then clearing and visioning. So it's going to be kind of this combo 3-part deal that we're going to be doing that evening. I'm super, super excited about it. So if any of those things resonate, brilliant. That's awesome. I hope I get to spend some time with you and see you doing that. And if not, then we'll catch you on the flip side. We'll see you somewhere else. We'll of course be in touch on virtual land, of course, as always, whatever social media is your favorite. But I just wanted to let you know there's some really fun things that are coming this summer and sort of what to expect as I do my journey into abundance, as well as I reach for that, what I'm doing and how I'm showing up to this. And so I hope that resonates for you. And I hope that you too will give yourself permission to stand in what you know you need. And right now, I need some time and some distance to do some work behind the scenes, to spend some time with my family, to really absorb the summer, to be with my daughter. And that feels really congruent to me. And that was why I did, my own entrepreneurial journey, was to have freedom and liberation, to be honest with you, right? So many of us start with this drive of like, I get to do what I want, how I want. That's beautiful. And I did it so that I had flexibility, and I forget to use it. As an entrepreneur, you get so busy doing all the things, and it's beautiful and it's lovely. And then you kind of forget, like, yeah, but freedom means that sometimes it's going to look like us taking a little bit of a break, if you will, or just changing things up a little. So that's what's going to happen this summer. I just wanted to give you all a heads up. I never want it to be like, what's Jen doing? Something's different. That's what's different. I'm just taking time. Ironic you're here. Just tell me about your episode. Woohoo. Oh, I'm so excited. Jess, I'm so excited. I just did a podcast with Jess, and she's on here with me on Instagram, and I can't wait to share that with all of you. It was such a good conversation, and Jess and I are actually talking about ways to collaborate together. Oops, that was probably a secret I wasn't supposed to say. But Jess doesn't care. I know she doesn't. She feels it. And so I'm super excited to share that with you all as well. And so take this time to really reach for abundance and create a sense of abundance, what that means to you. Somebody else's version isn't yours. You need to understand, for me, this is living in full abundance. When I take time to really slow down, listen to what I need, that's my version. Your version can look different, and that's totally okay. But I do want you to give yourself permission. I think it's so important that we understand that it's going to be time sometimes to step back a little bit, reconfigure, and then step back in. I've been doing that in spades, and I didn't even try. I was sort of forced to take some downtime, which is where I realized all of this was going to culminate the way that it did. It's so funny. Of course, you're always forced to learn the lesson, right? And what did Jess say? Haha. Yeah, I love it. I know you do. I know you're here for it. So reaching for abundance, that was a lot. I'm so sorry. That was a lot, but I wanted to nab it right ahead of when I started really dripping this out so that people could what am I looking for? What's happening this summer? That's kind of what I'm going to be bringing in. So I hope to see you. I hope you get to make a journey out this way and spend some time with me in person, or come to Sun Acupuncture. I'm telling you right now that Josh is an incredible acupuncturist. His belief system in Eastern medicine, how he does his work, is so beautiful. He's so kind. And so I feel really blessed to be doing a practice in his practice, and in conjunction with him, because I really appreciate his work and how he does his work. So if you're looking for someone to do acupuncture as well, I highly recommend Josh. He's just an incredible human. And when you meet him, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So thank you so long for this long run-on session today. I just wanted to make sure I was bringing all the fire to you. When I get it, I love to share it and disperse it out, because I feel like that energetic exchange is sort of, it's we just kind of feel that, and then it feels magnetic for us to have the same thing. So I want to boost your energy the same way that I'm feeling, and just get that magnetic sense of movement going for you. So anyway, so look me up, Laughing Lotus Wellness. If you want to check out those events, they're all on Book a Class. You can see them all stacked up. Feel free to sign up, get rolling for any of that. If you're interested, that would be great. And look for that joining my community piece to come through on Facebook. If you're going to do my 40-day abundance challenge, you do have to be a member of my community. That is an absolute must. So, are you serious? He can't wait to get on the internet and get signed up for the abundance challenge. My dog is so supportive. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a great week. We will see you next week on Thursday. And I, again, invite you to go check out things that you might want to be involved in. I also want to just have you check into those 4 steps. Are you taking those steps to reach for abundance? As always, signing off before my dog has a whatever he's having. I want to send you blessings, love, and light from me to you, to support you on your path as you rise on that path of purpose. Take care, everybody.